I know that I'm alive. I have two hands. I have a body and a mind and something to contribute to the world. And maybe we can change it the other way. We've got ourselves into this mess. Some of us have. We've got to help get it, get us out of this mess as best we can. Um, and it's not, the future is not certain. I think everybody went through and has gone through this pandemic, and we can see that things that we thought were stuck in place, were never going to changed like that. And I think that it gave us an opportunity to reflect on, the world we want to have. The data is really clear. Um, of course, we always hear about, oh, the cars are producing so many emissions and we've got to change our electricity grid. But one of the best ways that we can draw down carbon dioxide from the atmosphere is to grow living plants and to stop tilling up our soil. We lose a lot of carbon dioxide and methane every year from soils as farmers, especially larger farms, till up their fields as a regular practice to plant new row crop. And so I really do think that the one of the key ways that we're going to be able to reverse climate change, or reverse some of the worst possibilities that we would have had, is to convert more and more of our farming practices to no-till or low-till. And so keeping living plants in the soil rather than having bare soil helps. I mean, the plants help us to draw that carbon back down into the soil, and not tilling it keeps it in the soil, so it's not being released from the soil. We are obviously doing a very small scale, human scale farm here. We use a lot of hand tools. We're operating on about 3/4 of an acre in active cultivated beds, but we're able to produce so much food because we're able to plant a lot more intensely, um, and we are able to build the health of our soil over time because we're not just killing it at the end of the season and then having to import lots of nutrition in the form of fertilizers to feed the plants, because we are composting, we're keeping plants in place, we're keeping roots in place, we're encouraging those fungal networks, and all of that creates a more not only more nutritious food for people to eat, but it's also preserving our environment on the macro scale and drawing down carbon. Um, I think that we obviously, I'm biased, and I think we should have a million small farms blooming across the state of Kentucky, and we should, be providing for all our own produce. But I also know that we're, there is a place for large scale farming, and I believe that whether we're talking small farmers market farms like us or big crop producers, one of the best ways to fight the climate crisis will be a conversion to a more regenerative style of farming, um, and and keeping living plants in living soil longer, and not just turning it over all the time. Even if you take dead soil that's been monocrop farmed for decades, you can get it back to a vital and diverse soil ecosystem in just a few seasons if you add enough of the right material, and good good management practices. The earth is very forgiving, but we've got to act now. We've all got to do our part, um, and I'm hopeful that we will do that because I see it in my community. Um, I see more folks caring about the way that they eat and the way that they treat other people, um, and it makes me very hopeful because I can see it just even in the 5 years we've been doing this. How many more people are engaged? How many more institutions are engaging with health in a more dynamic way, and with food in a more dynamic way, and that gives me a lot of hope. I think we can really do this.